we would do at conferences like live podcasty type things at the conference. We would film a lot of stuff, but we just never put it on like YouTube, because why would you put real estate content on YouTube?
You've learned a lot in the 12 years you've been doing this. What are some other things? Oh, by the way, hang on. Did you know he first met me at the Baltimore REI Expo?
Dude, April, what was it? Late April.
He ran
2013.
You ran that?
Yeah.
He was the boss, man.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Man, that was the very first real estate event I ever went to.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. No, I'm serious, man. I had literally just quit my job April 11th, 2013. And I'm like, dude, I feel like I'm on an island. You know, I've got like 30 some rentals, and I just need like people that are like in my same situation. That was the very first event I ever went to.
It's so funny, you know.
We said we didn't care how you got started, but now we do.
Now we do. Yeah. Go on. No, it's just so funny. Like when you're in an industry like real estate, or probably any industry, and you're there long enough, you know the players, you know the influencers, and you know who the clowns are, you know who used to be full of shit, that maybe they're whatever, it doesn't matter. But you just know the skeletons. And it's just really cool to see people's evolutions and some people's stagnations, some people's downfall. Obviously, you don't wish any of that, but I think that's really cool to hear that, hey, I was at this Baltimore event in 2013, you know.
And this guy finally got on Instagram, and I'm like, holy smokes, it's Tim Harris.
I remember that dude.
I'm like, yeah, holy smokes, this dude like put me on another trajectory without even knowing.
It would be very painful if we start talking about how many things that Tim and I have innovated, and then we're like, and maybe we just put on a shelf and moved on to the next thing, and we're just like, damn it, if we just kept doing that. Because like, you know, like the content thing, he gives me this prop all the time. We would do at conferences like live podcasty type things at the conference. We would film a lot of stuff, but we just never put it on like YouTube, because why would you put real estate content on YouTube?
Everyone else does it.
Now they didn't then.
Yeah.
But back in 2012, 13, 14, it was like the goofy guys. Like, in
the 25th, the last expo we ran together, he set up a booth just like this on a stage, and he's recording at his speed and all like remember all the speakers we had, like we just barely put it on the YouTube channel, like never really did anything with it. Like it was, you know, it's one of those things you look back, it's just like all the houses. I mean, there's houses right out here that I used to buy for $3,000.
Or the large conferences too, like the Dallas conference we had. It was a 1,600 person event, and I always get a chuckle the last like 5-6 years. Like, we're the largest real estate investor event. We've got 800 people. Like, okay,
we had you smoked a decade ago.
Sure, buddy. You know.
Anyway, I wanted to ask this: the red, yellow, green thing was helpful. In the 12 years you've been doing this, you've learned a lot about operating rental property.
Yeah.
Could we maybe spend 5 or 10 minutes giving advice, real advice, not this bull people say like, oh, buy your tenant a turkey every Thanksgiving.
Or buy my $9.97 course to find the real information.
Yeah.
Oh, too close to home? My bad.
Not at all. Dude, I'm the person that hates on gurus, that hates on other people.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't care how you make money. If you're making money, great. Let's figure out how you're doing it, and how can we thief some stuff from you and make it our own, right?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Anyway, so
tips for operating long-term rentals.
Try to cluster things. So this is like for instance, one of the things I did originally, and I didn't realize I was buying by school district. And there were 2 school districts that were, again, in that blue collar, like real estate space and price point. And I didn't realize, but people would always ask, like on the leasing appointment, is this Groveport Schools or is this Hamilton? I'm like, this is Groveport. They're like, sorry, can't go here. And like Hamilton Schools was just another street over, but I had all these houses over in Groveport. And I'm like, damn it, that sucks, because I could have charged another couple $100. Now it's like another $400 more a month.
Really? From one street, huh?
One street. So like these are like knowing your market, knowing street by street how things fall, and get in the weeds of stuff. Like if you're in the weeds of seeing like what your leasing appointments are actually like, then you can start navigating, right? But if you get too high up and you don't understand those conversations, what people want, like something's as simple as a school district. Like,
well, I'd like to pause on that, because I think that's a very helpful tip of not just a school district, but just knowing what your customers want. But the reality of like, oh, if everybody wants this specific school district, I can charge a premium because of that. But you can't just charge a premium because the comps say. Fully understanding the why, then I think is a much better way to be able to charge that premium.
I think to that point, there's certain intangibles that go along with where people want to live, right? In general, people that want to live in a home with multiple bedrooms have children. In general, they care about where their children go to school. In general, they care if they're safe. In general, they care if there's a lot of traffic in the front yard. Like you said something earlier. God, I can't remember. I wish I could rewind. Something about being a decent human being or just being a human being. Like there's just such a human being aspect to housing that you just got to learn it and think about it.
I mean, put yourself in their shoes. What do they want?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes, as real estate investors, you get a little high on our horse. Is that what they call it down here? High on our horse?
Yeah.
And you start forgetting like what it's like to be maybe that renter or that tenant. Okay, what do they want? They want a decent school. They want maybe a big front yard. Some people, if they're single, don't want that huge yard. But some of our highest renting houses have these humongous 1 acre yards, and people pay rent for them because they want to go outside, put swing sets back there, all that type of stuff. So, there's selling points for everything. But I talked about clustering properties. We used to have properties on the west side of town, this area called Galloway, and it was a decent school district. It fit our buy box, all that stuff. But you know how long it took to get there from downtown Columbus? It was a 40-minute drive, 40-minute drive back. And so we realized that we were like, if we had a problem over here, we were only taking care of 2 problems a day. So one of the things I've tried to do is just kind of cluster our properties together. But at the same time, you don't want to own the neighborhood because then if the neighborhood goes to crap, it's almost like an apartment building that goes to crap. Yeah. You own too many rentals in one specific neighborhood. So I look at myself as like, you kind of want to be a wave rider. Like you want someone to be the first one to sell that property in that neighborhood before you go in there. You don't want to be the person that has to start the wave. But if you own too much stuff in one neighborhood, it can go to crap really quick. If you own just enough, you can kind of ride that wave. Yeah. But really deep. But I don't know if that makes sense or not. But.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like on one hand, you want to be in the niche, but you also want to be diverse enough to where if that niche collapses, you're not wiped out.
And you have owner occupants that are still selling their houses for top dollar, and you're able to ride that wave, right?
Yeah, because think about like, say you had 1,000 houses. Sounds like a good idea. What if they're all in the floodplains of New Orleans and a Hurricane Katrina comes in and wipes you out?